Hey, folks. So I have some pretty exciting news. If I'm reading a calendar correctly, which is always a big if, on this day in 2012 is when the very first ever Witchpolice Radio episode was aired, which means that some of you have been listening to me rant and ramble and rave about local music for a full decade now, which is absolutely bonkers. But like I've always said about this show, as long as you keep listening, I'll keep making them. So hopefully, another 10 years from now, I'll be making a video or whatever else exists technology wise by then, saying, "Hey, it's the 20th anniversary." Maybe I'll be beaming directly into your head through some kind of space science. I don't know. Anyway, I really appreciate everyone who's given the time to taking the time to listen to an episode of the podcast, to tell me what they like about the podcast, to write a review, to give a rating, to share the podcast with a friend. All of those things are huge, and I plan on continuing Witchpolice Radio for as long as humanly possible. I can't see myself stopping at this point. It's become too much of an obsession. And the good thing is, there's so many amazing Manitoba artists for me to potentially cover that it seems like almost every week I'm learning about a new band or a new musician or a new person who is music adjacent who is worth talking to and is doing something really cool and exciting and interesting. And I expect those numbers to continue to grow even as I continue to get old and out of touch. But I guess I just want to say thanks to everyone who's spent some time and checked out the podcast. There's a really great community as far as podcasters in Manitoba. As far as music, obviously, there's a really excellent music scene, not just in talent, but in terms of the actual people themselves. And yeah, so thanks to everyone who's listened, everyone who's been a co-host on the show, who's participated in some way or another. And if you want to help the show out, help keep the lights on, you can go to patreon.com/witchpolice and support the show that way. For even as little as $1 a month, it means a huge amount to the show. It helps just pay for the regular costs of running a podcast, which are more than you might think. And if you can't do that or don't want to do that, write a review, tell a friend, share a link, share a video, whatever you do. Any way we can get more eyes and ears on the podcast means in turn you get more eyes and ears on all the awesome local artists who are doing really great stuff. And that's the point of the show. It's not to make me famous. It's not to, for anything like that. It's to shine a spotlight on artists, especially those who maybe aren't getting it from anywhere else. I know there's a lot of other options for musicians to get their name out there now with the internet and with social media and all of these like technological wizardry. But the point of the show is to find people doing cool stuff, whether it's any style, any genre, someone who's just doing something different and interesting and comes from here. And that's what the show is always going to be. And here's to another 10 years. Thanks again, everyone.